And internally, the likes of Louis Bell, if you see it, he gets a contract. John Mellish, if you see it, he gets a contract. We saw what happened with that with Jared. That's another probably new part of the strategy that we've got here.
Well, I've not changed, Andy. Since I've been at the club, I gave Jared a 3-year contract. I gave opportunities to Galloway and McCarron, and it proved to be healthy for us. So Louis Bell is as good as any of those right now. This kid has got so much natural ability, and whereas Jared had the physicality, the height, and certainly the potential to go on to play the Premier League. I have no doubt that boy will go on and play at higher level if he stays fit and continues to learn. Great kid, I'm proud of him, and I think Cumbria should be proud of him. Cumbrian boy and going in the Premier League, how good is that? That's amazing. So the two other lads, they're having to be more patient at Leeds, and I hope that they do get their opportunities. But Leeds is a good club, and they've shown their ability. So they've got their good homes, but the deals have been good for us, certainly in protecting us. But young Bell, goodness me, the boy's got every chance. He reminds me of a player at Bournemouth, and I saw him at Sheffield United when he was a kid in David Brooks. I think Louis is similar, and I said it's about Branthwaite. Is that Maguire I saw at Sheffield United as a young boy, and I had no problem in telling people when they asked, what potential did he have? And I think Leicester had just sold him for 74 million, I believe. So if Jared continues, the world is at his feet, and young Bell really might surprise a few people outside Carlisle. Natural ability, lovely family, and we've got to make sure that we keep looking after him and progressing. So there's one or two others as well. I'll be so delighted when Josh Dixon gets on the dance floor. He's a great kid, and he's had 2 years of hard work, but you know what, he's put the hard work in, and I'm so looking forward. Again, I tell him every day, he's one of my favourite players. He really is. He's got so much natural ability, and we hope that he can sustain playing fit and playing well and enjoying his football sooner rather than later. Again, we look at Charters, and he's in the peripheral. He's a grown man, but he's still got a young mind. When that penny really drops, he's going to go on to be a good player, without a doubt. So, and then we've got a healthy situation coming through, which obviously the youth team are doing good and competing. They had a good victory at the weekend, and yeah, it's good.
It can be a brutal world, football. We've seen players who played really well for us last season who are they're out of contract. Now they're free. There's lots of these free agents. Yeah. Is that still something we could tap into?
Yeah. I don't know where we'd add them, because right now I don't think the squad needs. The only thing you can do is if you bring in a League One player who will really improve you. And right now this squad is healthy. Losing the first few games may have given them a bit of a rude awakening, and maybe a wake-up time. But Chris, we've all chipped in to support, and then you've gone on a run of games where you've been successful in keeping clean sheets. And Paul Farman, none more than him, who's been brilliant since he came in. He's got an amazing kick. But the two lads, Marcus and all of our young boys who are supporting, do you want to stifle their progression? Which we don't. I think it's a time where we have to be patient at times, but also support, which that's no problem. So anybody that did come in who's out of contract, well, maybe their wife goes to Aldi now rather than Marks and Spencer's. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that we said about this in the beginning. There were some players who were asking fees and that were stupid, really, and thinking that Carlisle, we're just going to pay them X amount of money. We had options, which is great. And if those boys are still out of work, then I feel sorry for them. But everybody makes decisions, and if they're doing that and they're not playing, I don't know how to keep them fit. So if they're in at clubs, keep them fit, then great, but don't get injured, because it will come back to maybe bite you on the bum. And we've made good decisions at the club, and healthy ones. And I think under Chris knows he's got a very healthy, strong squad. And once Brennan and Amari are fit, and Josh Dixon, then we'll be okay.
One end of the pitch, we've got amongst the highest stats, top 3, whatever it is, for all divisions, for chances created, shots on target, entries into the final third. The other end, the highest stats for not conceding chances, not having shots on target.
Yeah.
Something's going right.
Well, the training's good. The training's very healthy. Again, when the board and made a decision on Chris Beach, who sort of nobody knew, was that the fact of the matter is he's a very good coach. You can't beat coaching. Players need coaching. The other side of that is that man management, Chris's first job, he needs support. He's at it and he's learning his trade still. I'm sure he's got a million contacts outside the game that will be a shoulder for him to utilise, and he's a good man. He's got good morals. So if he's coaching to his top of his ability and players are listening, then it all can be conducive to, like you say, the stats working out on both sides. They certainly train very hard. They certainly work hard as a community inside the club, albeit at social distancing at times, and doing the best to protect themselves and everybody else around the club. But them stats don't lie, and I'm a massive believer in those type of things. So yeah, they're working really, really hard. Yeah, none more so than John Mellish, who's now got the protection of a longer contract, which I think was good for John. And we can see inside this club what other people can't see. So, you know, people try to judge, but they don't see the other side of it. And every day, and John's improving. He came back fitter, stronger, leaner, quicker. So, and that's paying off. Also, we mustn't fail to recognise that John Mellish came here as a left-back centre-half, and he's now playing as one of probably the best centre midfield players in the league. So Chris made that, and he should be rewarded for that without a doubt. It was his judgment. He played in, I think it was a friendly game, and scored a hat-trick, which John had never been out that far up the pitch. So it was Chris's judgment, and he should be rewarded for that decision on giving him that opportunity. And now the club we've backed him, John, and he knows where his future is. He's enjoying his football, and he's a menace now, because we saw at Harry Pell, a distinguished midfield player on the weekend. He's a very well respected boy, and John made his impression on if it was only an inch away, he'd have had two. So John needs to realise how good he can be and continue to work extremely hard. I think there's a lot more to come from him, but he can grow here. He can.